Just like in my sailing life, RV life for me is about having options, variations in where I am and what I'm doing. So living my best life means enjoying the luxuries and convenience of a nice RV park or a big city one week, and then being out in the middle of nowhere boondocking and enjoying the peacefulness and adventure of a national park, and then cooking a healthy dinner and having a crackling campfire in my fire pit at the end of the day. But to have this variation, the first thing I had to do was add some options to my off-grid power setup. So this is what I did. First, what I already had taken from my boat. These flexible, removable solar panels from Bouge RV came untied from the boat and glued to the top of my RV, along with an MPPT controller installed. At the same time, I had installed a cheap battery monitor from Amazon. I don't even know what the name of it was, but the link will be down below. The original single lead acid battery the RV came with was dead on arrival, so I replaced with 2 lead acid marine batteries from Walmart. The original lead acid battery died because the converter wasn't charging it properly and no water had been in the battery for a long time. Also, a while ago, I bought a new converter because I knew I'd be coming to lithium batteries at some point within the next year. The other thing I added was a 3,000 watt inverter, also from Amazon, link below. And then if you remember, I got a LifePO4 Battery generator to be sure I could always charge my high peak electric bike and power a few other small things when necessary too. So this year, to make my final jump to energy independence for boondocking, and because I loved the LifePO4 batteries that I had on my boat, I upgraded to LifePO4 batteries in my RV too. Test these. 13.2. That's beautiful. All right, good. And the other one did well too. I was only able to fit 360 amp hours of battery into the same space as the old lead acids, but one more 180 amp hour battery is really what I wanted, and there was simply no more space. They're pretty cheap, and I added extra foam onto the side of them because I was just not sure of the plastic casing of them, but the BMS and the battery capacity was very good, so ask me next year. To make up for the one extra battery and capacity that I really wanted, and because I'm not very sure of the reliability of these cheap batteries, I added basically a second separate battery bank via a solar generator made by AllPowers. It has almost the same amp hours that an extra battery would have, with many options built in, and has a good reputation. Besides that, it's $1,000 cheaper than an equivalent Jackery, and money doesn't grow on trees around here. But it's basically 3 times the power. Whereas this one is 1,000, so it's about 2.5 times the size. This was my solution to that final issue. For sure, I'm hoping it'll go in the same spot, which I put it right in my bedroom here with me. I put it right there. I'm hoping that it'll go in the same spot. Most LifePO4 batteries and LifePO4 solar generators, it came about 65% charged from Amazon, which is, sort of the happy place for LifePO4 batteries. But I, of course, wanted to see what it would take to charge her up. And, of course, what all these plugs were. It had a 12-volt for a cigarette lighter adapter to plug things into that needed cigarette lighter, or a couple other different little 12-volt holes as well as 4 120-volt sockets. That's the fan on low, and that's the fan on high. This USB output here and here. So USB-A 12 watts, USB-A 18 watts. Plenty of ways to charge this up. One, shore power, i.e. 120 volts from an external hookup outside. Here's the 110 volt cord, and it's plugged into my wall because my RV is right now plugged into shore power. 2, shore power through an onboard inverter in your RV. 3, 12 volt through a cigarette lighter, but that's the slowest of all the options. 4, 12 volt through a solar panel or 2, and it has a built-in MPPT controller, so that's easy peasy. It can even be charged by multiple sources all at once. Wasn't sure I really needed to take the package with the portable solar panels, but I did anyway, just to kind of see what they could do. And probably because everybody else was getting them too, and I have a fear of missing out most of the time. So I'm at a campground, so I don't need to use these, but I want to set them up just to show you and to make sure that they work and I don't need to send them back to Amazon or something. So I'm gonna open these up. Oh, it's upside down. And the reason I know is the stands are upside down. So I'm gonna flip it over. And I'm gonna put down the stands. I'll show you the back in a minute. Like the solar panels on my roof, these are also 400 watts of power. But because they tilt, they might be a little bit more efficient, though the numbers say that they're a little less efficient. So I think they'll probably come out just about the same as the ones on my roof, which will essentially double my input. There. Now I can plug in, and I'll show you how I plug it in. I'll show you the back of how I've set up the back of the RV to be able to do this easily. And so this right here comes out from the inside of my RV. I didn't even have to drill a hole. There was already a hole, you know, sort of between my bed platform and the back storage unit here, and they all just come out. I just fed them through. So I just have to take this over here and hook them up. Oh, look at all these things in here. So these come out from the solar panel, and I just clip in, hold on. So you have male and female. So boy, it's pretty simple. Male goes to male, male goes to female, female goes to male. So clip that in. In. So you hear it click like that. I don't know if you heard it click or not. Now it's pumping in power to my solar generator. So let's go in and make sure it really is pumping in power to my solar generator. Let's go and take a look. Well, let's go see how much it is. You can lay these solar panels flat, or you can, you know, use their stands and put them up to any degree of tilt that way too. So let's go inside and see what the solar generator is putting out. I don't put my solar generator outside. It's like a $1,000 solar generator. So I don't want to just leave it outside in the rain and the sun and everything like that. So I put it inside and just bring my solar panel leads in through that hole in the back of the water tank underneath my bed. That is one panel plugged in. One panel plugged in the pretty much full sun. So let's see what it is if I do two. So with the battery almost charged up and two solar panels out in pretty good sun, we're getting about 225, 230, 220 in from two portable solar panels wired in series. And that's about the same as my roof panels are putting out right now. Same wattage, except for the portable ones are of course tilted. I have a regular 110, so I can plug it into the wall since I am at a campground to charge it up right before I go. I can bring it away full. And then it has a reset button in case you blow a fuse or something. And then I also have the red and black is the solar. So it goes through just a little hole right there. Nothing fancy, but yeah, it's a pretty ugly little hole. But it's in a very hidden spot, so that's okay. And that goes right out underneath the water tanks to my storage compartment so that I can have this inside and the solar panels outside. Just shove this in my compartment. And of course, always lock it up. After I read the instructions, I realized I made a mistake the first time I set them up. And then fold. You should always have these folded if you don't have them plugged in. Plug them in first. Very important. I also have it labeled so that when I have two solar panels going negative on panel 2 to positive on panel 1. So I remember exactly how to set them up when I'm dumb but desperate for power. Everything out and charging. I mean, yes, I am at a campground now, but I'm experimenting to see what they can and can't do. I've let the batteries get low let the batteries get low on the solar generator, let the batteries get low on the lithium, and testing my solar panels up there on the roof, and testing these solar panels down here. It's definitely a good idea to test everything while you have power, but unplug and pretend you're away, and then find out what is and isn't working, like my tape. So now I really am boondocking, but I'm still testing what works and what doesn't. One important thing that I found out here is that the wind blows over the portable panels, so they need constant babysitting, especially here where the wind changes directionally. Got my rug weighted down with a whole bunch of rocks because it gets quite windy here. I had to put my chair on the other side of the grill last night because it got so windy from the other direction. So it's interesting, you know, the easiest way for me to charge this, it's easier for me to plug it into the inverter and put it on a low power so it's not like draining from my battery quickly. If I plug this into the wall, it only does like 95 or 100 watts input, but this does 700 watts input. And then I don't have to bother with putting the solar panels out, because the solar panels that I have on top of the roof are more than enough to charge my batteries from just about any state. If it's a nice sunny day, it's like, I'll charge by like 12 o'clock. So it's really easier for me to plug this into my inverter to charge it than it is to plug it into the solar panels. Now, you know, if it's been rainy for several days and the batteries are really down, then yeah, get out the solar panels if you get a nice sunny day and, you know, input the power that way. But I really like that I can just plug this into my inverter. That's the easiest way for me to charge it on the RV. So this means Bluetooth ready. By pushing this USB on and long holding it right here, that switches on this signal right here so that I can go to the app and connect to it by Bluetooth. Two things that can be controlled in the phone app that I really like are: one, econo mode to limit how much time you want to leave it charging for, and two, work mode, how fast or what wattage to charge it at, slow, medium, or fast. Let's talk about this some more. So this is mute mode, and it just puts it into a slower charge, so that's going to take 1 hour. Did is I put it in standard mode to charge, so now it's going to charge it faster. Now it's going to charge it in 43 minutes. So this is in fast mode. Oh, and it doesn't like that. It automatically shut it off, maybe because, or let me just put it back in mute mode, and that'll bring it down to 700 watts. So back into mute mode. And I just think that's like a nice slower way to charge it. My inverter will be happier with it. My batteries will be happier with it. And, you know, on my battery intake, that's how much it's taking out of my batteries. About 51 amps are coming out of my batteries right now. My capacity is 360 amp hours. So I just think that's a lower, you know, there's the 700 watts going out, 52 amps, you know, just divide 693 or whatever, divided by 12, come out to 53 amps, and that's just more comfortable for my battery, my inverter, and obviously for this guy. Very happy with that, so I think we'll leave it at that for a bit. There still is some noise involved with a generator like this, and I do hear it when I'm sleeping, but it's very peaceful and non-disruptive. It doesn't wake me up, but it's much better compared to what I was working off before, and I'm happy to say that no more smelly, noisy generator for this RV. My old gasoline Honda generator went up for sale this morning. I have free power from the sun from now on. And where I am, out west, the sun is one dependable source of power, not to mention peaceful and quiet. All the good times just begun. We know what we have, let's hold on tight.